another shot to be able to get a potential reverse sweep up against Cloud9. Cloud9, again, sitting at match point. They just need one victory to claim that crown.
Okay, so I know why the Guinevere is good, right? Because when you're up against a Ruby, you can't walk up to the Ruby, but you can jump on top of the Ruby. So maybe that's the answer, right? I mean, maybe that's the thought here. If you're able to get the knock up on the Cold, and it's the same thing with Nats, you can't really walk up to the Phoveus, but if you're able to just jump on top and get that instant CC, maybe that's the answer here.
Yeah, but you see right now we got 3 Purifies on the side of Cloud9, so it's going to have to be very careful about when we kind of jump in, who we're going for. If we go for Marcuti, we're going to need to make sure that that Purify is already expended, because you could pretty much become a lightning rod to your team as they connect those yin-yangs.
Yeah, I was going to say also with Marcuti, the diversion plays are going to be something we got to keep a close eye on, right? We see players pick up the Lu Yi and sometimes they're not very aggressive, but we see other players, every time that diversion's available, they use it to teleport across the map and find an opportunity, even if it's something little, to be able to work in the team's favor.
Yeah, so, I mean, at this point, we're back to kind of both teams playing things slow, right? The Lu Yi, like you mentioned, once it gets to that level 4, with Cloud9 already being a pretty heavy macro-orientated team, a team that wants to jump around, play off lanes, play angles, it works very well with their play style. Though it's not as popular, I think it's still very threatening in the hands of Marcuti and in the hands of Cloud9.
Yeah, and we're starting to kind of dance around this objective. It does look like Cloud9 going to go ahead and possibly turn away. Best player looking for an angle.
Yeah, trying to find a window of opportunity. Mobazane, best player, both in retry distance. There goes Nasta with the separation. Chicken, able to find Marcuti off screen for first blood, and Turtle will be reset.
All right, so at this point, Turtle reset, BTK getting buffs, Cloud9 getting buffs, big meetup, big brawl at the first Turtle. Probably going to be a lot more action than we've seen in the first few minutes of the past 2 games.
Yeah, they're vying for a position here right now, resetting it again. Fly Chicken doing a good job of trying to keep it busy for them. They do have a little bit of a clash down at the bottom. No worse for wear are either of them, but still a little bit of respect paid for both of them. Still tie game when it comes to the goal, but just 1 kill in favor of BTK.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great pickoff, too. Able to find the mid laner, right? Marcuti need to be a little bit more passive. He needs to use these diversion plays to have the element of surprise, but he can't be surprising us with these early pickoffs. Speaking of surprises, though, BTK doing a great job on maintaining the pressure and the momentum they've already gained from those 2 wins in a row. Best player able to get the steal on the Turtle, but possible punish on the way. Spatial migration in with the Violent Requiem. Fried Chicken able to find best player. Chicken will fall as well, though. Marcuti able to find him.
I think that's a good trade, though. Good trade for BTK there. They do lose Turtle, but they get a kill on the jungler. They lose Fried Chicken. It's maybe an even trade, Private.
Yeah, I mean, they lose a Turtle and a kill, so I mean, it's just narrowly up for Cloud9 right there. And man, it's just you gotta be a little bit more quicker to the dial there if you're Mobazane. You cannot be losing those early objectives, especially when they had such an advantage in the numbers at that fight.
Yeah, we know, like, you give a team a little bit of an advantage and they make the most out of it, especially when it comes to the top 2 in North America. Now, Shark on this Guinevere, how are we feeling about it so far? I think it's great when it has the mobility and also the survivability, the spatial migration, not only to close the distance, but also play as an escape maneuver as well.
Yeah, I think it just worked pretty well. We just saw it right against the Phoveus. Got the big knockup just because it's able to so quickly. Wait a second, diversion.
Quickly. I think we need a new word for how fast Mobazane was shredded right there on that purple buff, and looks like they're going to go in and try and take the farm as well. No, yeah, it looks like they may actually go in for it. A quick pickoff for Cloud9.
Man, and we were talking about this, how well that's going to start coming into play, especially for a team like Cloud9, who macro just seems to be one of their specialties.
So, I mean, at this point, now the paranoia is going to start to set in, right? For BTK, it's like, what bush is safe? Which way is safe? They can always be lurking. So, vision is going to be key. Shark is going to have to start playing on the opposite side of river a bit more. Everyone's going to need to be communicating about where the enemy is at all time, taking a look at the items. Zia is doing okay as long as it doesn't get caught off here.
Yeah, Colroad looking for the I'm offended play. Able to catch Zia, stuck on the wall. Not able to get the safety, and Marcuti with the final touches takes him down.
Every time I mention Zia.
That is unfortunate for him. He was looking for an angle. He didn't have the cooldown to be able to get away fast enough, and by the time he was finally able to find that little dash, he did get bursted down.
Yeah, so I mean, now Basic gets a tower. He can start getting involved in these fights. It's a rough spot for Zia. It's going to be some time now until he can really catch up and get involved, because he's always going to have to be worried about that lane.
Oh, speaking of lanes, a lot of action in the mid-river. Nas able to find Chicken, but will fall himself as Shark getting the kill on this Guinevere. Best player smells the low HP, uses a retribution, not able to get the fracture off though, and Shark will remain alive. Back to the base he goes.
Yeah, right now the gold lead is starting to expand for Cloud9. Mobazane.
Ooh, trying to find a pickoff on the best player, but Cold World closing the distance. Mobazane, a wise decision to disengage.
Oh, more action though.
Yeah, you are going to find Zia taking down best player. Can still play called out on to Zia, trying to find the punish. You see a lot of golden staffs being picked up as well for that attack speed. And Zane able to take the tier 3 on the bot side.
Yeah, and we're starting to match up, I want to say, when it comes to towers. One tower for both of them right now. So, I mean, it's still a very even game. No firm leads just yet for BTK or for Cloud9.
Yeah, so taking a look back at these items in that gold lane. Last time we saw Zia with a nice lead over Basic, but this time Basic is definitely a bit ahead, right? We're looking at almost a 1,000 gold lead into the hands of Basic. Zia hasn't even finished his second item, and we're getting to the 8-minute mark soon where you need to almost be there. At that point, 8-9 minutes, you should be kind of getting into possibly that third item, like half of your third item build, couple pieces of it. So Zia, it's going to be a minute until maybe even 10 or 11 until he can really pop off.
Yeah, and you can see the Malefic Roar picked up as well from best player for that pin. Dealing a lot of damage on this Nolan already, but BTK still finding a way to the objective, in control for a possible turtle. Bionic Force dropping down, stun on the Chicken, Frigid Glacier, and a Spear Destruction combination. Best player, no worries, we'll be able to find Fried Chicken. And BTK forced out of the turtle pit.
Yeah, forced out. They're not going to be able to find... Oh, on the Mobazane!
Oh, man, I think the bounty on his head right there was definitely more of a prio than that turtle. Able to secure not only a turtle, though, finding Mobazane and a tier 3 turret in the mid lane.
Cloud9 now, I mean, at this point, they're well ahead. I mean, and it's match point. If this continues this way, it is looking rough for BTK. Zane's taken 2 deaths, 0 kills. He's a level behind best player, and that's going to continue to stack because best player's just able to farm as Mobazane's stuck in the graveyard waiting to come back. And I'm wondering, you know, Shark, he's 0 deaths, but we haven't seen that big violent Requiem. They need to get some sort of combo. They have to get some sort of cohesion in between the members of their team.
Yeah, and it's going to kind of, you're looking for the combination with Hoon, possibly. I mean, I have not seen kind of like that Wombo combo coming out from them, especially when the Frigid Glacier comes out. We don't see Shark kind of capitalizing on it, and right now it's the pick. It is a good pick. I see the genius in it. It's just right now it has not paid its dividends.
Yeah, and Marcuti doing pretty good on this Louis. 3-1-3, highest kills in the game so far. And they still have that element of surprise for Cloud9, right? Some sneaky diversion plays may be on the way. There goes a special migration play for the setup on the best player. Hoon will rush in for the opportunity with the alley-oop, able to shut him down, and that'll be best player out of the game right now for Cloud9.
Which is huge, right? Lord's about to be up in 20 seconds. Taking best player down is going to be important. It's going to give them a nice position. Maybe they can steal some jungle. They can gain control of the map. And maybe even fight for this next Lord, as they're not too far behind in gold, right? It's still very doable if they get the correct positioning.
Yeah, and that was a perfect example of what I was talking about, is kind of chaining together that CC. You saw the spatial migration landed, and then the Violet Requiem, and then you saw the freeze come out from Hoon there. Oh!
Yeah, you already see the I'm offended from Colroad. A little premature, though. I mean, you found Shark, but that's not really the one you want to set up, especially for this Lord play, and now a possible punish. Cold World will fall. Hoon finding yet another kill within the last minute for BTK.
The stacking of skills is definitely happening as Private Stead. BTK finding some flow in their fights.
Speaking of flow, Spatial Migration in and out as well, knocking up NACT, and now Cloud9 trying to punish, trying to force out BTK from the Lord Pit, but they're not going to let it go for free. Conceal play called out from Shark, but not able to find the setup they're looking for.
Oh, and they're going to go ahead. They're going to reset that Lord right there. But you do have Best Player. He's still looking to go ahead and put on the damage there. Mark Cutie from the side finds himself some damage. And another reset. Man, both these guys dancing around.
Yeah, they got to watch out for Shark, though. Shark gets a big Violent Requiem, and he was searching for it there. He's been hanging out in that mid-bush so much around these neutral objectives, keeping his eyes out, but I feel like Cloud9, you know, they kind of sense that something's there. They know not to overextend, but if Shark lands something, if it's a big two-man Violent Requiem, it could definitely be the turnaround. Cloud9 at this point just need to play it safe. They need to be careful about the way they move on. They need to keep vision.
And Vision is really on Shark, right? He's able to let them know the state of the Lord, and now BTK trying to rush in, not going to be able to close the distance. Best Player will be able to secure it. Mark Cutie finding kill Zia, taking down Basic. Zane responding back, finds NACT. Basic taking down Zia. A 2-for-2 trade, but Cloud9 secures the Lord.
Man, that speedy light wheel. I mean, Zio was still able to find the kill onto Basic, but the speedy light wheel already had like 3 or 4 auto attacks out there lying in wait for Zia by the time he found the kill, and even with dashing away, still gets taken down. Now, BTK going to have to answer a Lord.
I mean, with them taking down a few members of Cloud9, it should be a very, maybe not too bad of an answer. I don't think Best Player wants to push it. He might try here. We'll see. Hoon isn't waiting for him. But I think at this point, we're kind of still at the stalemate.
Yeah, good thing Mobazane did not step into that bush, because he was going to get the fracture of a lifetime.
Yeah, and you see another diversion comes out there. This time, BTK, Fly Chicken, does catch a little bit of damage, but no worse for wear. And I want to say this is the kind of... Oh, Mobazane!
Oh, look how much damage he just dished out. Able to take down Best Player, but need to be careful. Cloud9 trying to circle around, but BTK following up to keep Zane in the battle. Zia finding NACT. Cold World may be next. Not able to sustain himself, and Zia able to find the kill. 3 members down for Cloud9, and a chance for BTK to push.
From out of nowhere, 3 kills unanswered, starting with Best Player, moving into a bush. Mobazane finds the burst damage and quickly shuts his eyes on that.
You were talking about a fracture of a lifetime. Well, Zane had an enhanced chains of a lifetime right there. My guy responded. He heard you talking. He was ready for it. And BTK on the brink right now of bringing this to a game number 7. Shark still deathless, man. Has got plenty of defense to handle. Has the Athena shield. Looks like might even be going for an offensive item as his third here, just to really rub some salt in the wound.
Yeah, the Best Player's been having a little bit of a hard performance, right? He's 1-4-2 on this Nolan, unlike Zane, 2-2-5. And I mean, he's just rotating around, getting these objectives and able to find the opportunity to even out the playing field. And not only just even it out, I mean, technically, BTK is pretty much in favor, especially taking down that tier 2 turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, and a firm, well, not a firm, but a decent gold lane. Like we've talked about before, BTK's shown how well that they can perform, even on the back foot, even when they're at a deficit. Having even just the littlest bit of gold in their favor means that they're starting to have a big positive upswing in these fights, in this game right now. And man, Cloud9 need to be careful. You cannot continually make some of those mistakes, because we were talking about the momentum that BTK has. They find 1 kill and they're able to kind of continue on with the snowball.
Yeah, I mean, and that momentum's definitely going to be tough to beat, right? Because as you said, they were behind in gold coming out on top of a fight. Now that they're ahead, does that mean these are definite wins for them? I think for Cloud9, they still, I mean, at this point, do they maybe go for more of the macro play? Maybe kind of get Basic back in that off lane, send Cold World, kind of push BTK. I don't know if they can take BTK on just 5v5 right now. They need to play the map.
And, you know, we were asking a question about the Guinevere and how effective it's been, and it's working really well for Shark, right? He has the spatial migration. He's given the vision every single second on these Lord plays, and that's making the difference for BTK to be able to rush in with a lot of information and then also chaining it up. I mean, there's even times where you'll see Hoon. He sees the spatial migration go in. He knows he connects. He sees the Violent Requiem from Shark. He uses even a flicker to close the distance with the Frigid Glacier to chain that CC.
Right now, a lot of worry from both of these teams, being very careful. Each one of them, I say right now, especially Cloud9, on their side, they're waiting to catch somebody out. They need BTK to make a mistake because I want to say the fear has been put into them, a little bit of PTSD from some of those last fights right now. BTK ahead, starting on the Lord.
Yeah, Basic's going to join this fight. He uses the diversion play as well, so he's not going to go for the split push.
But they do it. Whoa, wait a second, Shark.
Whoa! All the way downtown with that one. May have made a mistake, able to get back to the Lord pit, but BTK, they know their window of opportunity is short.
Oh!
Able to find best player. No retribution for Cloud9. Moba Zane finding Ness. Next on the chopping block is Mark Cutie as Zia gets the double, and BTK takes the Lord.
I've been waiting for Zia to pop off. He finally does it.
Yeah, you were even talking about how far he was behind. He was going to be the 11 minute. It took 16 minutes, but he's there right now.
Only 16. It was only 16 minutes. All right, guys. Zia finally makes it. Lord pushing in, Wheezy.
Yeah, Lord pushing in toward the inhibitor in the mid lane, and BTK now gaining control of this game. Cloud9, a few mistakes may have costed them this game. They're going in. The window of opportunity is there. Lord marching to the base. Crystal. Zia taking an inhibitor. The knockup. Corona immortality proc. Marquini finding Chicken. Another turret will drop. You're going to see Ness find Shark, saying find Ness. Trading flows back and forth, but Cloud9 has the number 2 with the flicker in. Trying to get a setup, trying to find a kill, but not going to find it. Only minions in the mid lane standing, and BTK forced to retreat.
Ooh, that game, they were really kind of dancing on that tightrope a little bit, lingering a little too long in BTK's oh, man.
Ooh, almost caught the cat by its tail, but BTK able to go back to safety.
All right, I'm standing up now, guys. I'm out of my seat. I'm standing up. We're on the brink of a possible Game 7. It's about to go down. And as you were saying, I want to continue what you're saying, Private, because they were playing with death right there. The three of them hanging out next to that crystal.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, they were able to kind of pull back a bit. They saw it a little bit smarter there. There was that bloodthirst in them. You could sense it. They really wanted to close it out, but a smarter and cooler heads prevailed. They have the lead. Why start making crazy plays now?
Oh, here's a crazy play though. Conceal called in. Shark not gonna connect with the spatial. Oh my goodness! Able to get it. Marquini finding Shark. Zia finding Basic. Wait a second, that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
What?
Will they be able to get more? Cobra very low. Zia, 50% HP. Minions may be the difference here. BTK still pushing through. Best player very low. Chicken able to find it. And BTK takes the base crystal. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a game number 7.
And he finally delivered, even after I cursed him a few times, even after I said it's going to take a while.